Hello, Matt.
Yes.
How are you? This is Eddie at Top Step Trader. How are you?
Hi, Eddie. Pretty good. How are you?
Okay, and we've got Viraj with us.
Hi, Viraj.
Good afternoon, Matt. How you doing?
Good.
Well, congratulations on the newest funded account. Very nice to have you here. A rancher in Oak Creek, Colorado. So were you out on the ranch here today, or just kicking back trading?
Yes, I am. We actually got some purebred Angus on Friday, so I've been kind of trying to keep them in the fence.
Keep them in the fence. There you go. There you go.
Yep.
Now, just reading your bio here, you took advantage of Apple right after the first generation iPod. That sort of piqued the interest, and it just sort of blossomed from there.
Yes. Yep. I was sitting in Starbucks one day, finally got the iPod working, downloaded my songs on there, got it working, and I was sitting in Starbucks, drinking a coffee and listening to the iPod, and I was like, these things are pretty cool. Maybe, I had some money at the time. I was like, well, maybe I should put some money into Apple. I think they'll go, And I threw some money into it, and it took off, and I sold way too early, which happens. But, I did pretty good on that trade, and I was happy. So that's how it went. And then I, went into, after that, Google was IPOing there, and they were at like $85, I think is what they IPO'd at. And I was thinking, man, I should buy some Google. Everybody talks about it as a great search engine and all that sort of stuff. And but they're at $85, and me not really knowing any better, I was thinking, man, they could just crash, and didn't buy into it, but I wish I did.
Well, you had some right ideas there, and that was I tell you, sometimes a product that you like, and you just have that knack or that inside knowledge that says, you know what, I think this is going places. So that was a good choice on you, and a very nice choice on you to come here and conquer the combine.
Yep.
So congratulations. Viraj has a question for
Matt, if it's any consolation, I was looking at Google at the same time as its IPO, and I was like, $85, that sounds kind of expensive. I'll wait for it to get cheaper. It never got cheaper.
Good.
So I feel you, man. I feel you.
Did you buy in, though, eventually?
No, I didn't. I was in some other stocks, and I had to sell them to pay rent. So my trading took a little, it took the back burner for a while, but I wish I did, but, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But anyway, it looks like you do have some significant experience and, a few years trading the markets as well as trading futures here with us at TopStep. So I'm wondering, through your experiences, what have you learned what has been the greatest help to you as a trader through your learning experiences?
Well, there's I guess I'd say risk management. That was the thing I was lacking, and I found that through TopstepTrader, on those daily drawdowns, if like with the 150K, it's 3,000 the drawdown, and I would way exceed that. Like I started out doing like $5,000 accounts through NinjaTrader, and I'd double it in a week. I'd be like, sweet, I'm doing good, this is great, and then next day I give it all back, and I just didn't have that internal break to, be like, okay, stop, like you need a risk management strategy, and I'd say that's probably the biggest thing was finding TopStep and being able to start those combines and work through them and keep trying at it.
That's really good. Risk management is very, very important, and it's not too hard to make money. Some days you make money, but it's those down days that you got to watch out for. That's what could end you. So good risk management, very, very crucial.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, your opinion. What's the most important factor for finding success in trading?
I'd say, like I was saying, the risk management for me, having a clear head when I'm trading, not getting caught up in every trade. Sometimes, enter a trade and it just doesn't feel right. I'm a price action trader using specifically the Jigsaw dome, and for me, when I enter a trade, I'm looking for something to happen. And if I'm just sitting there and it's mulling around, I view that as time to get out, let's wait and see what happens here. And that's pretty much, how I trade. I find those volume areas and trade around them, and anything else that I think other traders are looking at.
Now, Matt, how has Jigsaw helped you?
Oh, tremendously. Like when I started out trading, it was more of just like, oh, what companies are making a product that looks good? And then it kind of evolved into technical analysis, and I started studying that. I got one of those like 4-inch books on all the technical patterns out there, and started studying that sort of stuff. And then, that wasn't really working. So then I went to, I noticed that volume, when volume started kicking in on those, on those 5-minute bars or whatever time frame you're trading, that would be, usually it was a pretty good spot to be entering. So I started trading that way with VSA, volume spread analysis. But still, it was kind of lagging a little bit, and it was off and on for a long time. And then finally, probably about a year ago, I found the Jigsaw dome, and started playing with that a little bit, and I was like, geez, it's right there, I just had to keep working at it, keep studying it, like they say, but I get frustrated, and then I go over to something else, I'd start looking at footprint charts like order flow analytics, which is great, I think, and market delta. They've all helped me being able to find those areas where, all of a sudden, at least with crude oil, you would see like they're hitting the bid, driving it down, and then all of a sudden, boom, so it's not moving, on like 4 or 5 price levels, they're absorbing 100 contracts, 75, whatever. And then you start seeing, on the reconstructed tape off of Jigsaw, you start seeing, okay, boom, here comes like, 15s, lots of 15s coming in the marketplace or just up. And, that's usually a good spot for me. That's what I look for.
All right. And
all right.
Go ahead, V.
Yeah, I mean, I like volume analysis as well. I think volume at price is as simple as it gets for the market. Those are the only 2 pieces of information we really get, and then from that, everything else is extrapolated. So going down to like the foundational stuff of what the market's made of, I really like that. But my question for you is, you've learned a lot of things here, and we have a lot of traders that are, going through the process trying to trade their combine and reach success. If you could give them one piece of advice, or if you have any advice for them, what would you tell them?
Have a catastrophic loss. Make sure that when you're trading and your emotions are running high, that there's another part of you watching how you're trading at that time period. So when you continually keep losing, that'll turn into a flag in your brain where you're like, okay, wait a second. I've watched myself trading like this before, and all I do is lose. So I need to change something. I need to do something different. That's pretty much what I would say would be the biggest thing for me. With trading,
yeah, I'd agree. I think having that self-awareness really, really important. So, if you're finding that in yourself, I think it's going to help you in the long run. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, now, Matt, you've got our questions, answered our questions, and time to go to the Squawk Radio room for our fellow traders and the questions they have. Now, Matt, what was or is your biggest fear? Fear of missing out, fear of loss, fear of disappointment, fear of not being correct? If so, how did you overcome or manage these fears?
Okay, I would say the fear of missing out. I mean, I think everybody has that. And with trading price action, especially on the Jigsaw dome, you can start jumping at everything. It's just like, ooh, that looks good. Ooh, that looks good. But really what you need to do is you need to wait for those key areas, the value area lows, value area highs, just like John Hogan teaches in his classes. That's the most important thing. But the other thing is to think, okay, it's Monday, right? Okay, so what day of the week is it? Okay, it's Monday. Well, a lot of times on Mondays in oil, unless nothing major has happened over the weekend, it's going to be a range-bound day. So you should be looking for those value area lows, value area highs. Okay, so and then comes Tuesday. Well, usually you get some movement on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. On Tuesdays. So on Tuesdays, at the beginning of the day, I'm kind of more leaning towards, okay, I'm gonna look for a trending day or something to catch on that's gonna push it out of range a little bit, because maybe I'll get a little more run and I can make some more money that way. And then Wednesdays, you just wait till after the report for me. So.
All right, Sean has another question. He says, I see you're doing very well in crude. Why crude instead of cattle? Something closer to home or maybe too close?
Yeah, I basically when I started this whole thing with the tools I'm using now, I started with crude. So I stuck with that. But it's funny he brings that up because I was thinking, I was watching the whole live cattle market, and I was just like, man, this thing's gonna crash sooner or later. It's coming down. And it was a perfect long or short trade, but holding for a long period of time. And everything was crashing, oil, corn, all that sort of stuff, and you just had to wait until this time of the year, or right before they started selling their calves off here in this area, and you could have caught a really nice short. So that's how it goes. But yeah, I haven't really studied the live cattle that much or watched on the dome, so I don't know if the volume's there or anything like that. So that's why I don't trade it.
All right, Matt, Eric has a question. How many combines did you do?
A whole bunch of them. For me, in order to break that habit of mine of, just keep trading and losing and losing, it took me quite a few combines to go through, and a lot of frustration and just working at it and finally just, getting to that point inside yourself where you're like, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to trade this exactly this way and sticking through it and making it happen. So.
All right.
But I don't know off the top of my head how many combines. I went through, I believe, 2 funded trader preps.
Okay.
And I threw one away because my risk management wasn't working and I was frustrated.
Didn't work. Okay. All right. Peter's got a question for you.
Sure.
How much time did you feel was wasted on the way to becoming profitable, and how would you advise people to cut out the time they spend getting nowhere?
Whew, boy. That's a hard one. For me, the way I trade, I use chart. I can look at technical analysis a lot. Just tons of different things. I can't even explain how many options there are for me to trade off of. But I guess to cut down on that time, it would a lot of it would be staring at the jigsaw dome and looking for the absorption areas. Okay, so start looking for those absorption areas and those volume nodes, and trade on the right side of those volume nodes. That would be probably my number 1 recommendation at this point in time. I don't know, maybe the markets will change here. I don't know. I don't really see it because it's changing that much because it's just volume price action. And you have to see where those bigger traders are willing to step up to the line and start buying or selling. So.
All right. Georgie, one of our guests, has a question. From whom do you acquire the HVAs and the LVAs?
I just look right. So the way I set up my desktop, I guess, is I have like a 5-minute chart, and then I have a daily chart. But each day has the whole volume profile for that day. And I usually, I'll do a cumulative profile from the the swing low or the swing high. For whatever 20 days or whatever that swing is, but I usually use the previous 3 days as like my okay, these low volume nodes, these high volume nodes, because it's the most recent information on where the big traders are positioning themselves.
All right, Vinny's got a question here. Do you have a framework or pure order flow?
It's pure order flow, I guess. Yeah, it's pure order flow in terms of looking for the most important thing is the right here and right now trading, what I'm seeing on the Delm, and then I look for other things to stack up on it, like low volume nodes, pivot points, previous day high low. Are we creating a flag in the 5-minute chart? And at the top of that flag, it just throws in a huge volume spike, which you can see on the Jigsaw Delm too. That's kind of how I trade.
All right. I think that is it for our questions here. And I got some comments here. Profile Trader, congrats, Matt. Jigsaw rocks. And we all congratulate you here. Cajun saying no loss. And Bad Wolf, congrats. So good job. Good job. Welcome to the funded team here at Top Step Trader. And all the best to you. And Viraj?
Yeah, just want to say congrats, excellent combine. I like how you're using volume analysis and that sort of stuff. I do the same thing, but nonetheless, very nicely done. And keep concentrating on that risk.
All right.
Manage that risk well, and you'll probably do well.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Take care, and we'll see you in the funded trader room.
All righty. Thanks.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Told me I got what it takes. She said I'll turn you on sun into something strong. Play the song with the funky break. And go-kart Mozart was checking out the weather chart to see if it was safe outside. And little early birdie came by in his curly whirly and asked me if I needed a ride. Another runner in the night, blinded by the light. She got down, but she never thought that she's gonna make it to the night. She's gonna make